Good afternoon, students. My name is Teacher John. I'm going to do a maths lesson with you for TP 701. It's my lesson plan 1. I am broadcasting live from Bangkok this afternoon, 9th of June. The topic I've got is a grade 10 Euclidean geometry lesson, and we are looking at special quadrilaterals, the parallelogram, and it is CAPS document page 25. I am going to do a Google Slides PowerPoint presentation. You see me on the screen now. When I do the presentation, you will not see me on the screen. Zoom does not allow for that privilege. So let us go to the screen. So the screen. Okay, there we go. We're going to do this presentation on Google Slides. Like I've said, it's lesson plan 1, geometry, the parallelogram. Question here is, what are we going to learn today? I think I've given you a hint already. We are going to learn about parallelograms. The special quadrilateral, we know it's a quadrilateral, shape with 4 straight sides, 1, 2, 3, 4. Special quadrilateral, the parallelogram. Today I'm going to teach you everything about the parallelogram, the definition, as well as the properties. Very similar to the rectangle that we did before. So don't fear. Next up is the Docklands building in Hamburg, Germany. Now, has any one of you seen a building in this shape? We can all recognize the shape as a parallelogram. So this is a building in the shape of a parallelogram. So we've got lots of shapes here. I'm not going to tell you what they are. You're going to tell me. So there's the building again, and I hope you watch carefully because I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. First one, what building is it? Who remembers? Some dock something? Yes. Good. Where is this building located? What city and what country? The language, they say, Sprache de Deutsch, gives you a clue there. Yes, I know you did not pay attention. You don't know which city. It's Hamburg in Germany. Next, what shapes do you see? Let us look at the shapes here. The outside shape of this building is a parallelogram. Over there, we've got a rhombus or a diamond. We've got rectangles here, the windows there, rectangles. We've got rectangles there. Triangles, there are triangles too. Possibly squares there, so yes. Circles, of course. Shapes in action. Is the building leaning to the side? Is it going to fall over? Does it lean to the side like the Tower of Pisa, or is it just looking like that, an optical illusion because of the camera? What do you guys think? It's leaning, yes or no? And in your opinion, what do you think the building represents? Remember, your opinion cannot be wrong. So because that is what you're thinking. What would you think? This, it's got this shape here. It's in the water there. There's the little bit on top. Might be a big ocean liner, a yacht or something. You can tell me in the comments what you think this is. Next up, an irregular paper. Irregular means it's not regular. This rectangle here is regular. It's a regular rectangle, but the paper is an irregular size, an odd size. But we're going to use an irregular paper to make a regular parallelogram. I hope you guys have got your scissors. If you haven't got your scissors, I've got the scissors for you. There are scissors, there's paper. We're just going to cut a random shape with the scissors, and then we are going to make a parallelogram. And I know you say, oh, teacher, this is so difficult. I don't know how to do it. I know that. We are going to watch a little video. Show us how to do it. Very easy. Okay, it's YouTube. YouTube's coming up. Here we go. It's made by my brilliant Indian friends all the way from India. This is Thailand. We skip that. We say we don't like it. Yes. And skip. And full screen. Watch this carefully. I just want to stop it here, guys. I know we cannot understand Indian language. I don't know what language is speaking, but we can all read. You need a pen. Pen, we've got a pen. You need paper. Paper, and just read at the bottom.
ಹಾಗೂ ಮಾಡಲು ಬಹು ಸುಲಭ. ಇದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಅನಿಯಮಿತ ಕಾಗದ ಹಾಗೂ ಒಂದು ಪೆನ್ನು ಸಾಕು. ಕಾಗದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಡಿಕೆ ಹಾಕಿ ಪೆನ್ನಿಂದ ಈ ಮಡಿಕೆಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಗೆರೆ ಹೊಡೆಯಿರಿ.
Fold it in half. Anyway.
ಇದೇ ರೀತಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬದಿಯಿಂದ ಮಡಿಕೆ ಹಾಕಿ ಈ ಮೊದಲನೇ ಗೆರೆಯನ್ನು ಈ ಮಡಿಕೆ ಛೇದಿಸಲಿ. ಈ ಮಡಿಕೆಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೂಡ ಗೆರೆ ಹೊಡೆಯಿರಿ. ಎರಡು ರೇಷೆಗಳು ಹಾಗೂ ಛೇದಿಸುವ ಬಿಂದುಗಳು ಈಗ ದೊರೆತವು. ಈ ಬಿಂದುವಿನಿಂದ ಸಮ ಅಂತರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಮಡಿಕೆ ಹಾಕಿ ಅವುಗಳ ಬಿಂದುಗಳನ್ನು ಗುರುತಿಸಿ. ಈ ಬಿಂದುಗಳು ಮಧ್ಯ ಬಿಂದುವಿನಿಂದ ಸಮ ಅಂತರ.
Okay guys, I'm just going to cheat a little bit there.
ಇದೇ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡನೇ ಗೆರೆಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಮಡಿಕೆಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೂಡ ಗೆರೆ ಹೊಡೆಯಿರಿ. ಈ ಮೊದಲನೇ ಗೆರೆಯನ್ನು ಮಡಿಕೆ ಹಾಕಿ.
Okay, you've got that.
ಪೆನ್ನಿಂದ ಈ ಮಡಿಕೆಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಗೆರೆ ಹೊಡೆಯಿರಿ.
You draw your line like I've done there.
ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬದಿಯಿಂದ
ಮಡಿಕೆ ಹಾಕಿ. Just
ಈ ಮೊದಲನೇ ಗೆರೆಯನ್ನು ಈ ಮಡಿಕೆ ಛೇದಿಸಲಿ.
Over again.
ಈ ಮಡಿಕೆಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೂಡ ಗೆರೆ ಹೊಡೆಯಿರಿ. ಎರಡು ರೇಷೆಗಳು ಹಾಗೂ ಛೇದಿಸುವ ಬಿಂದುಗಳು ಈಗ ದೊರೆತವು. ಈ ಬಿಂದುವಿನಿಂದ ಸಮ ಅಂತರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಮಡಿಕೆ ಹಾಕಿ ಅವುಗಳ ಬಿಂದುಗಳನ್ನು ಗುರುತಿಸಿ. ಈ ಬಿಂದುಗಳು ಮಧ್ಯ ಬಿಂದುವಿನಿಂದ ಸಮ ಅಂತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವವು. ಇದೇ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡನೇ ಗೆರೆಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೂಡ ಸಮ ಅಂತರದಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಬಿಂದುಗಳನ್ನು ಗುರುತಿಸಿ. ಈಗ ನಮಗೆ 4 ಬಿಂದುಗಳು ಹಾಗೂ 2 ರೇಷೆಗಳು ದೊರೆತಿವೆ. ಈ ಹೊರಗಿನ ಬಿಂದುಗಳನ್ನು ಕಾಗದ ಮಡಿಚಿ ಜೋಡಿಸಿದಾಗ ಸಮಾಂತರ ಚತುರ್ಭುಜದ ಆಕೃತಿ ತಯಾರಾಗುವುದು. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ABCD ಆಕೃತಿ ಎಂದು ಕರೆಯುವ. ಮೇಲಿನ ಮೇಲೆ ಮಡಿಕೆ ಹಾಕಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಗೆರೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಡೆಯಿರಿ. ಹಾಗೂ ಇದು ಈ ಆಕೃತಿಯ 4ನೇ ಭುಜ. ಇಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಗೆರೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಡೆಯಿರಿ.
And then we connect the lines.
ಆಕೃತಿ ಸಮಾಂತರವಿದೆಯೋ ಇಲ್ಲವೋ ಎಂಬುದನ್ನು ಖಚಿತಪಡಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳಲು ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಡಿಸಿದಾಗ ಒಂದು ಕಾಟ್ಕೋನ.
Ruler, of course, you need a ruler.
ಕೊನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಭೇದಿಸಬೇಕು.
Well, it's much easier with a ruler. And
ಇದು ಲಂಬರೇಷೆ. ಇವು ಕಾಟ್ಕೋನ್ ಆದದ್ದರಿಂದ ಇದು ಸಮಾಂತರ ಚತುಷ್ಪುಜ ಆಕೃತಿ.
Like that. And one moment, guys, I'm not done. And I'm done. There is my paper.
ಕಾಗದದ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಅಂದವಾದ ಆಯತ.
And we can stop this one. Good. And kill it. Okay, next. We've got our parallelogram, and it looks something like that. Have your parallelogram in front of you, and then we are going to learn some new vocabulary. The first word is opposite angles. Now we know what's an angle. We've got angle CD, ACD, and we know what opposite is. C and B are opposite angles. So these are opposite angles. Just look carefully, look at the sizes of these angles. A and D, look at these opposite angles. Look at the size. So we've learned opposite angles. Diagonals. What is a diagonal? Diagonal are these lines that cross from the points, the vertices of the parallelogram, and bisect. What does it mean to bisect? You guys have been studying biology and been doing bisecting or dissecting insects. By is to, sect, to divide. And yes, the diagonals are bisecting, they are dividing. And look at the length of this part and that part. Is it the same as this part and that part? Yes or no? Just look carefully. And the last one is a tessellation. A tessellation is just a shape pattern you make with different shapes that you repeat. We will do this tessellation, have a tessellation up at the end of the lesson. Right. Now, definition of a parallelogram. We know that a quadrilateral, any shape with 4 sides. A quadrilateral is a closed shape consisting of not 1, 2, but 3, 4 straight line segments. Not lines, line segments. And important, they are straight. And question, what is the sum of the interior angles of a quadrilateral, of any quadrilateral? The sum, the total of the angles are, who can tell me? 4 times 90 equals, correct, 360. Now, definition of a parallelogram. A parallelogram is a quadrilateral. A quadrilateral, yes, with both let me just go back there, guys, because I've got stuff where I can't read. With both pairs of sides being parallel. So the top and the bottom sides are parallel, and the left and right sides are parallel. Great. Next one. Properties of a parallelogram. What is a property? Properties are things that distinguishes it. The properties of a parallelogram. Don't look so confused. We've done the properties of squares and rectangles. The properties are very much the same, very similar. And we're going to use our trusted there's a small. We are going to use our parallelogram that we've made to find the properties. Let me just see why I'm not seeing myself here. Just a little technicality, guys. Back to video. There we go, back to video. Hope you can see me. Recording. There we go. Use your parallelogram to find the properties of the parallelogram. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes, piece of pen and a piece of paper, and you write down all the properties of the parallelogram that you've got. The first one would be the sides. What can you say of the sides? The opposite sides of a parallelogram, the angles, the interior angles, the opposite interior angles, the sum of the angles, and then the diagonals. Do they bisect, yes or no? Let's look at that. Okay, first one. Both pairs of opposite sides of the parallelogram are, so these two red lines and the two blue lines, they are, both pairs of opposite sides are parallel and they are equal in length. Both pairs of opposite sides are equal in length. They're parallel, equal in length. Both pairs of opposite angles, angles B and angles A are equal. They are the same. Both diagonals bisect each other. So the diagonals are the same length when they've bisected, when they've cut each other, but all four halves are not equal length. And let us see if you guys understand. Keep your parallelogram, and I'm going to ask you questions to see if you understand what we've learned here. True or false? This is quite easy. It's not too tricky. I'm sure you can get it right. First question. Both diagonals. So on your parallel, both diagonals of a parallelogram bisect, cut each other in half. True or false? Yes or no? Hands up. Who says yes? Okay, excellent. Yes, true. Okay, good job. You're correct. Next one. I've clicked something here. Next question. A rectangle. So This is a rectangle. Keeps on disappearing on my camera. This is also a rectangle. This is a rectangle. A rectangle is a parallelogram with interior angles being 90 degrees. Think about it. Rectangle is a parallelogram with one interior angle 90 degrees. True or false? Yes, I know you say it's false because more than one angle is 90 degrees, but yes, if one angle is 90 degrees, is this rectangle a parallelogram? And the answer is yes, true, excellent. Next question. All squares are a parallelogram. A square is a parallelogram, true or false? Yes, no. Since everything is true, let's go for it. It's true, excellent. We continue to problem solve. It's mathematics. You'll always find a lot of problems there. Sorry for that. Guys, I've been online all day. It takes its toll. Continue. True or false? Be careful of everything was true there. Let's see if it's all true. All parallelograms are squares. So all parallelograms are squares. True or false? Hands up if you say yes. Hands down if you say no. Answer is no, it is not. All squares are parallelograms, yes, but all parallelograms are not squares. Only the one parallelogram with a 90-degree angle and all sides equal. Next one. Diagonals of a parallelogram are axes of symmetry. It's an axis. Easiest way to do that is grab your little parallelogram you made, look at the axis of symmetry, fold it over, Does it fold like this or does it fold on the sides? So this tells us it is, once again, false. Yes, excellent. Next question. The diagonals of a parallelogram intersect at right angles. At right angles. There we go. At right angles. So look at this one. Are all these angles right angles? This one of mine is pretty close to a square. So, but I think you can still see it's not right angle, 90-degree angle. So it is false. Okay, now that we've done the problem solving, let's move on to the real thing. We've got a parallelogram here. We've got the angles there, 137, 57, 123. Use your knowledge, your previous knowledge. And question, find all pairs of parallel lines and motivate. Okay, so just by looking at it, line M, this one, and line NP and MO, does that look parallel? Doesn't. So let's forget that one first. Let's look at MN and OP. Would you say these lines are parallel? Perhaps, possibly. But now they say motivate or prove. What do we know about the opposite angles? If we can prove that this angle is 57 and this angle P, this one is also 57, then we are in luck. Then it is parallel. I'm just trying to see if I can write with a pen here. Looks like it. So this one's 123. Angles on a straight line, as we remember, is 180. Guys, my writing is not the best. My first time to do this. So 180. Never forget your degree. Minus 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There's a small 3 there. Okay. And now it's minus. Don't laugh at me because I put the minus here. In Thailand, we put the minus there. And believe me, it makes much more sense than putting it there. So that's a minus. And 10 minus 3 equals 7. Oopsie. And 8 minus 1 is 7. Minus 2 is 5. What have we got there? 57 degrees. This angle is 57. That angle is 57. So these lines are parallel. Okay. Next. I knew I was going to run into trouble if I use this pen. Okay. Oopsie. Let me erase this. Erase. Where is the eraser? Guys, always interesting when you've got these things, and you do it for the first time. Present, go back to present. I'm sharing, still sharing. I'm still recording. Good. Now, next one, problem solving. You guys are doing that in pairs. Number 2, find all the pairs of parallel lines and motivate. So we're going to do it the same. We've got that one 60, that one 180 minus 60, we get that angle. So we've got 120, 60. So you guys work out all the angles for me and then tell me how many pairs of parallel lines have we got? Have we got 2 pairs? Yes. If you say yes, and you've got the angle 60 and 120, you're correct. And we can move on to the next one. Good. We continue with problem solving in pairs, asking find angles A, B, C, D. Now here we've got it. It shows these arrows, double arrows and single arrows, tells us these 2 lines are parallel. Those 2 lines are parallel. So it's a parallelogram. Now you have to motivate. So you have to think, what are the properties of a parallelogram? We've got that angle 73, so we can, we know about the opposite angles, they're the same, so B is going to be, I'm not going to tell you, you're going to tell me, and then this one plus that one is going to give us 180, so that one is 180 minus 73, 107. Work that out, and that one also minus 180 minus that one, or you can just say 73 and 73, and You've got your answer. Next one, here's a little bit of a tricky problem. This is, I've got this in a later video that I'm doing also. Is this a quadrilateral? Yes or no? So look at this. Yes, it is. Look at this quadrilateral. These two lines are parallel, and then we work out these angles and can connect these lines and see if it's a parallelogram, and also prove that if you've got time. The smarter guys can prove that. So we find the angles and we motivate with our work calculations like on, on the side here. Great. Now, next question. What did we learn today? I'll give you a moment to think of that. What did we learn today? We learned quite a lot. No, we didn't. We only learned about parallelograms. We learned about the special quadrilateral, the parallelogram, the definition. Okay, so please give me the definition of the parallelogram. Yes, over there. Okay, excellent. The definition. And then the properties. Give me the properties of the parallelogram. 4 properties, and we're good to go. Now, for the wrap up, I've got a question, and I always have these questions in my class. Every time you're in my math class, you're going to get these questions. The first question is, how will you apply this knowledge, the knowledge of parallelograms, in your life? So, how do you use parallelograms? Where do we use it? Is it useful? What do we do with it? Think about it and tell me tomorrow. So tomorrow morning we will start with the lesson, and the first thing I'm going to ask you 2 things. First thing is, what did you learn yesterday? And the second thing is, you're going to tell me you learned about parallelograms, and I'm going to ask you, now, how do you use the knowledge, your knowledge of parallelograms and shapes, quadrilaterals, in your daily life? Right. And there's always a surprise in the math class. Homework, beautiful homework. I know that some of you do not want to become engineers and scientists and architects. Some of you want to become artists, yes? Now, for our artistic friends, we are going to make a tessellation. And I know I did not fully explain the tessellation in the beginning of the lesson, simply because if I show you a picture, you will perfectly understand. And yes. And tessellation, remember the word tessellation, double S, double L, tessellation, boom, there you've got it. Beautiful, yes, it's a tessellation using parallelograms, using rectangles, and using diamonds or squares or whatever. So you can use any quadrilateral or sets of quadrilaterals and any colors, and you make for me a tessellation for tomorrow. That's your homework, nice and easy homework. Thank you for watching, guys, and see you again tomorrow. Okay, and stop video and